Hello, good morning, my wonderful people. My name is Nima Benson, and I am going to be your moderator for today. And what is our topic today? Our topic says discipline or damage. Because right now, I want to pay transport back to my family and go ask my papa, that discipline they give me, was it out of frustration or you really meant well for me? Because most of us lived with the aftermath of some disciplines that we received from our parents. Or some of us even said, it corrected me. It made me a better person. So we want to talk about it today. Is it what? Was it damage or was it proper discipline? Was it good for you or bad for you? You're going to be deep diving into schools and the ones used at home. Or do we have parents or people who are saying, let us go into the modern way, the modern discipline they call dialogue, talking to your child like a proper human being? Me, I'm all about not flogging, but we have to discuss sometimes. And of course, discipline is better. But is it the one with belt? The one we call beating of our lives? And guess what? I'm not alone here. I have with me amazing, wonderful volunteers. And of course, we have a guest today. And before I bring up my guest, I would like to bring up my amazing volunteers first so you can all meet them. Are you ready? Let's go. Right here, I have with me this person. I love this lady so much. She is the project manager of UDO Foundation. Today is all about banter and banter. We are going to banter here. Okay, so be ready because we have them here amongst us. Welcome on board, Ejiro Lucky. Nice to have you on board, Ejiro. Oh, we cannot hear you, Ejiro. We cannot hear you. I think you're muted. You're muted, Ejiro. You're muted. Please unmute, Ejiro.
I'm so sorry about that.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm unmuted. Hi, Nyama.
Okay.
Thank you for having me here. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I can't wait to get the conversation started.
Beautiful. I don't know if Promise is ready to have us. We have another person here. She's an educator. And she's one of the volunteers of UDO Foundation. She's an amazing person. Okay, she's not available. I'm going to go over to the person that's available now. Josie Adebayo. This young man likes to talk. What I mean talk? Good talk. He's so interested and keen about proper and beautiful education in Nigeria. And I have had a one-on-one conversation with him, and trust me, he's going to talk. We are going to banter here. And let me bring aboard Josu Adebayo. Welcome on board, Josu Adebayo. Nice to have you on Parenting Unplugged.
Hi,
You're
good
muted.
morning.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Right. Good morning.
Good morning, Ejiro. It's so nice to be here. Thank you for having me,
So
guys.
nice. Of course.
Good to have
And
you.
the next, of course, and the next volunteer we have on board is going to be Process Promise. She calls herself Process Promise. I don't know if the promise is still processing, but however it is, it has processed in our time because now we have someone who is not just anybody but an educator who loves the Nigerian style educating. You know what Nigerian style is? Small flog, but I'm sure she likes dialogue as well because of course, let's bring her on board, Promise. Nice to have you here. Welcome on board, Promise.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so excited to be here, and I can't wait for us to dive into this topic.
Beautiful. Yeah. And guess what? Before I bring my amazing guest, I would like us to go on a very short break. You know what? This video I'm about to show you, watch it with your innermost heart. Please, from your heart, or watch it from your heart. And see you right back in 1 second. Welcome back, my viewers, and welcome back, everyone. I am touched beyond imagination. I don't know about you. That video really touched me. But before I go further on talking, I'd like to bring up our amazing guest. And this guest for today, she's a nurse. I'm sure she understands psychology when it comes to nursing, when it comes to children. And she's an educator as well, a perfect match. Someone who understands the body, how it works, and someone who also teaches. And that's beautiful. And the name is no other than Patricia. I'm going to bring her now. Welcome on board, Patricia. Welcome on board, Patricia. Nice to have you here.
So much. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Your audio is a little bit not clear.
It's a little noisy. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there's a noise. No. Okay, now what we're going to do. Do you have a okay? Now this is what we're going to do. If you have a earpiece on, you can take out the earpiece and use it without the earpiece. I think that's proper and better. That will be more effective without the earpiece. All right. Okay. Welcome on board, everyone, and we're about to begin. Okay. Let's start our little banter. I know that the Bible says what spoil the child and do what spoil the child. I mean, spoil the rod and spare the child. However they put it. Or they say, love the child, just shine the child, just shine. And all those hard words we are groomed with. I can hear some noise in the background. I hope we're clear. Can we hear yourselves?
Yeah, it's clear now.
Can we hear ourselves?
Okay, so you're echoing. I'm not sure why.
Okay. Viewers, we apologize for this. Sometimes there's a break in transmission. All right, we are going to continue.
So, am I audible now? Can you guys see me?
Yeah, very well. We can hear you. We cannot see you.
Oh, really? I'm yet to introduce myself. I'm yet to come into it.
Yes,
yes. Everyone. I'm so excited to be here today. And I'm so excited for us to dialogue together. As the saying goes, we learn every day, right? So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be here on the platform. Good afternoon, everyone, again.
Good afternoon. Okay, we'd like to know a little bit about you. You can tell us about yourself, who you are, and why you're so interested in children as a nurse, as a teacher. So tell us.
Right.
But we cannot see you. We cannot see you. Your video is blocked. It's not visible.
How about now?
We can still see you.
Oh, really? But I can see everyone. How about now?
We can see you. But go ahead and introduce yourself. We will fix it later.
Oh, okay. But I can see everyone from here anyway.
It's okay.
Yes,
but we cannot see you.
Oh, really? Why is that? How about now? Can you see me now?
No, we can't see
Hello?
you. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Akimbuli Patricia. And of course, I'm a Nigerian. I'm a nurse and as well a mother, a wife, and as well a teacher.
Beautiful. Beautiful. She was very particular about it. I mean, why? I love that. So, being a mother, being a nurse, being a teacher, I mean, that's a whole lot of psychology around there. You understand how it works. Okay, I think, I guess, let's go on a very short break and we are going to be just right back. Okay? Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. Um, okay, the first question we are going to be asking. Hope you can all see me. Can we all see ourselves? I don't know our guest. If you can just go out of the studio and come back so we can see, because we cannot see you. You can just leave the studio and then come back if that's okay, so we can see you. All right. Okay. So I was talking about how the Bible has told us, and that is what our African parents have been building their weight on, their morale on, to beat us, the beat the hell out of us. So they say that we should spare the rod and spoil. Is it spare the rod and spoil the child? So let's start by telling. I'll start by me telling my own story, my story of spare the rod, what it did to me, and what he has done for me as well. So at a very young age, at I think not very young, I was about let's say 17 or thereabout. After my secondary school, I was looking for a job. I wanted something to get my hands on something, to start working and gain experience before I get to the university. So I told my dad I wanted to work. My dad said, no, you cannot work. You cannot work now. You just finished. You go and learn this. Go and do. I said, no, let me gain experience. So I have this dad. I was always caged as a child. So at last, he agreed that I should go and work. So he asked the driver to take me by himself. I shouldn't go alone. The driver should take me. So the driver took me to where I was going to have my interview, and he dropped me there, and went away with the car to his friend's place. I had a small phone then. This man went away, and he left me there. I called him, his phone was switched off, and later on my own phone became switched off. Guess what? My dad was calling both of us. None of us, our numbers were not going, because mine was switched off and his phone number was switched off as well. This man came around after we went there by 10 a.m. in the morning. He came by 6 p.m. to pick me. He said, I went out with my friend. I forgot. They were busy drinking beer. He forgot about me where I went today in the interview. And he said, Daddy must be very angry. We finally drove back to the house with the traffic traffic on the road. We got to the house around, I think, 9 p.m. I didn't even enter the house. So they didn't my dad did not ask me, how was it? How wasn't it? I was welcomed with wire, wrapped wire. They wrapped it. They flogged the hell out of me. My dad flogged me. He beat me. My body was blood. I was, they beat me. I was peeing on myself. Yes. I cried blood. They didn't ask me, why were you late? Why weren't you late? They just beat me. I cried. Guess what? I hated my dad. Because he was blaming me that I was doing something why was I late? Why was I with a man outside? He was his driver. So he was blaming me that I was having something else to do with the driver. Or rather, he should have known his daughter. This comes to where parents and African parents never had close relationship with their children. They just think anything about their children without even knowing their kids. They should have known what I was capable of doing, or even ask me closely, why were you late? What happened? But no, they just beat the hell out of me. Out of us, I don't know what they were thinking. But you see, that really changed me. It changed me that I hated my dad. For 2 months, I couldn't wear something like a cropped, like small, no sleeveless top. I was wearing long sleeves because I was having wounds all over my body for something I didn't do. For something that would have been settled with a question, why were you late? That's called dialogue. That is a modern method of parenting, of discipline. Dialogue and talking, yes, dialogue. But our parents then were just beating us. So let us talk about this. I'm going to ask us. Let's talk. If it were you, let me start with our project manager. If it were you, and you were the mother, or you were the child, how would you have felt if they flogged you like that? Tell me. Because I am still angry whenever I tell this story. I am always upset. Something I did not do.
Oh my God. So I'm sorry you had to go through that experience, to be honest. And the truth is, I can relate 100%. Because to a very large extent, I have my own fair share of people. Like, I have my own fair share. I don't know if anybody can hear me.
No, I think it's making some noise. You can do without the headphone or earpiece to be clearer.
Okay, is it better now?
Do you have a earpiece? Can take it off.
No, 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 I'm not using earpiece.
But there's some noise in the background.
Oh, it's my next.
Okay, give me 1 second. Viewers, just bear with us.
Okay, so how is it now? Is it much better? Sorry.
Yes, but
So, saying that I have my own culture and well, and I'm totally related to everything as well. So, in my own case, I just bring it home with my experience, right? And the first thing I say, for me, while I was growing up, I can't remember two things that happened in my childhood. And she came to my dad to report. And I'm very sure she twisted the whole story because I remember saying that I didn't even see what was wrong. I was not at fault. But she came to my dad, narrated the whole thing, and guess what? My dad didn't even ask me anything in your face. He just pulled me inside and said that this woman said this, said that, and behold, I was prosecuted that day. Like my
my
dad had a field day, whipping me. He whipped me so bad, eh?
hi.
Even to my tie. Going on to 3 years ago, I know that those marks was done. And like you said, like, I relate with myself after that because I was so angry from in my inside. Like, why didn't you just want to ask one side of the story? Didn't you just care about my perspective? That was how I felt. So, parents need to do better, like you have rightly said. Because beyond punishing kids, beyond even the it's okay to do.
Hi everyone, I
While
can't
you're
hear
punishing
anything
kids.
no more. Hello.
So I don't know if and because do I post it or should I just go back out and come in while you continue with the rest?
Okay, it's your. I don't know if it's network, but we can barely hear what you're saying. I don't know why that is. But can you all hear me?
Okay, so I'm going to go back outside. Let's proceed with other
Okay, no problem. That would be nice. So let's go over to promise, to process promise before we go to our guests. Process promise. So, what do you believe in? Process. Oh, ask process. What do you believe in? Are you there? The network is
Okay,
really
can you hear me? Can you
very
hear me?
well. Yes, I can hear
This
you.
time this
Can you hear me? Very well.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so concerning your own explanation, what you said, I think I have my own share, and I will
Really?
literally say my it was not my dad, but it was majorly my mom, right? My dad hardly flogged us, but when he does, you yourself, you know that what you did was actually wrong, right? But my
Mm.
mom, I feel like she kind of punished us based on her emotions. You get? I
Oh.
remember
Mm.
growing up, okay, I my elder brother, I have two elder brothers. So
Yeah.
both of us were at home. It was weekend. I know in normal African home, you're supposed to weekend, you're supposed to do the chores, clean up the house and all of that. So we all both have our shared responsibilities. You get? So it was actually his responsibility to fetch water in the house. All right. So that Saturday, I was literally done with my. I think my mom went out early in the morning that day. So me, I was literally done with my own chores. So he didn't fetch water till evening. My mom now came back and now saw that there was no water in the house. With the annoyance, started beating my brother.
Mm.
Fine, it's justified that she had to beat him because that's his own duty, right? So coming to me, she just picked offense. She was like, "Is it a must that it's my brother that must fetch water?" Hey God,
Uh-uh.
do you know? So she was like, she started beating me, oh. And do you know the funniest is she beat me with anger that she used. You know what they call this we call it tongari for making a call, right? That was what she used to
Yes.
hit my head.
Ah.
Till today, that mark is That
Oh
mark is
my
on my
lord.
head. I'll literally say that then growing up, parents just punished based on their emotions, what they feel like, oh, that you didn't do this thing right. Do you get? So I feel like everybody had their own share. But I think parenting is kind of getting better because there's actually need for dialogue, right? And that's where intentional and gentle parenting comes in. So that's my own
You're going,
story.
you're going to go to that journey to parenting. Thank you very much, Process Promise. Okay, guess. Patricia, are you ready for us? Hello, is she there? Please, can you unmute and say something? Okay, so probably we just have both of us here because our guest is not responding. Okay, Ejiro, Lucky, are you there? Are you ready for us? But okay, unfortunately, we have both of us, and we can go ahead and talk.
I'm sorry, am I still having the echoes? I wanted to be sure.
No, there is no echo anymore. You're better now.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. So let me try switching on my video.
Okay, so I'll go back to
Okay.
Ejiro. We've all told our stories, our personal stories of the African. I call it the beating of our lives. You know, daddy will give you the beating of our lives. But mommy and daddy, and it was mostly the dads that were always very tough. So I'm just glad to hear too that there was. I'm surprised that there are actually mothers that also like that they give you beating of your life. Well, I think all African mothers do actually. My mom believed that I should have known how to cook, being born as a woman. My mom didn't teach me how to cook. Please. She just believed as a woman, you don't know how to cook Gary. How? Mommy, how? You've not taught me yet. So actually, in that aspect, my dad actually did teach me how to cook, not my mom. Because my mom was a what would I call her? A soldier. No, what's the word? I don't know, I've forgotten the word to call her. She just believed I should have known how to cook. So you see a lot of unlearning that we needed to do. Or trauma, what is it called? A lot of trauma that I had to overcome growing up as an adult. It's all good. So now, Josie, I don't know if you're ready for us, Josu. Josu? Oh, his network is really, really bad. I'm really sorry, Josu. So let's go ahead. Now we've had our stories. Now let me ask, why do you think that this punishment, this African punishment survived so long, even till now, is still there? Why has it been able to survive this far? Were there positive things? Like, is there any positivity to it? Because what we've just told is our negative stories. The bad effect it had on us. Were there any positive aspects to this parenting? I'll go with Process Promise. Let's start with you.
Okay, I would say like they will always say everything that has a positivity also have negativity, right? So there are actually good sides to it and also negative sides to it. But it's just that we tend to focus more on the negative side, right? So like the story I told earlier, right? So my mom having to beat me for my brother not doing his chores, and she was like, why didn't I do it? Why did I have to do a fetch order, right? So let's
Mm,
assume that I she didn't kind of like inculcate that beating into me. I would have this mindset that fetching of water is for boys. Do you get? So
mm,
that means that if I think what the positivity of what she was trying to do was that I should get to know that once the house, like water is a very needed commodity in house, right? So if it's not
mm,
there, if my elder brother is not there to fetch it, I should actually be there to do that, right? So not kind
right.
of relegating responsibility. Oh, this is for male and this is actually for female. And I think that's what parenting these days, because they will tell parents, oh, try to teach your male child also how to cook and do all of that. But then it was like, oh, the strenuous works are for boys, why the less trainers was the kitchen work, the house chores is mostly for girls. So I feel like she made me understood that there are some things you just don't relegate to one particular gender. You get? So I think that was the
Mm.
positivity of that beating.
Do you
Yeah, I think
agree
that's
with Ejiro?
validated it. Yeah.
Because she just said that the beating made her understand. So would they have spoken to you, like call you and talk? Ejiro, do you agree that they must beat you to understand something? Cause I don't understand.
I'm telling you, I'm even surprised myself. Like, why should beating be the medium of passing the message? You know, because
Exactly.
she would have just told you, go and fetch
Ah,
water. But I'm guessing that, our parents, that they feel like sometimes when they talk so much, we don't listen. The beating
mm.
part is what does the job. So I'm feeling that's how many parents, used to think then. So rather than wasting my energy to talk, let me use it. Let me use my hand. And that case will teach you so that you will never forget.
Me, I think beating makes us tough. Oh. It makes us more tough. This
Also,
conversation
Yeah.
I told you and said, my daughter, I love you, eh? But with that water, if you don't drink water, you will not leave. Me, I believe in targeting your emotions as a person. If I want to hurt you, I'm not hurting you, your skin. It's your emotions that will hurt. If I hurt your emotions, I'm very good in manipulating people's emotions. I don't know how I do that, but I cannot use it to make money. so, so by the time I hurt your emotions, you listen to me. So I think our parents should have done more with talking to us and hurting our emotions and making us see things. Now there's something I used to do to my sister while I was young. I'm the first daughter actually. She likes going to sit in a dirty corner. So what I did to her was like, you're going to get married to mosquito. Mosquito is going to get you pregnant. And
That's
this really, really
serious.
hurt her. Of course, it is very, very weird. It hurt her emotions till today. She still reminds me of that. And guess what? After that, she never went back to that place again. I didn't hurt her body, but I hurt her emotions by talking to her because I talk, she doesn't listen. So I hurt her emotions. So you see, I think dialogue for me, dialogue. I should stand by dialogue. But it's like process from his life beating. She said it made her to understand. Oh God. So now,
There are some things. There are some things you actually say to somebody, the thing will not stick. But with the beating, even the
ah,
Bible said, "Foolishness abounds in the heart of a child, but the cane
mm-hmm,
of correction will drive it away."
ah. Okay, oh,
So,
okay. Oh, I answer. Where's the other Bible? My hands are up. So let us just bring up our guest has not spoken anything. I think internet has been. Are you there, our guest? Patricia, are you there? Oh, I feel very bad.
Is it better now from my hand? Can you see me now?
we can't
Oh, but
see
you
you,
can
but I
just
feel like you can just talk. But
okay.
This
You
one.
can just talk. Oh my lord. I don't know why, but we tested this month together. It was just I can hear a baby's voice. I wish you can see him as well. Let him tell us how Mama has been dialoguing with him. I don't know why it's this bad. We cannot see, but it was better. We just tested. Oh my lord. I'm really sorry. We can't hear you. We have to just move on. Why you fix this, okay? I'm really sorry. Okay, by the way, our son, I've seen her son. She's doing a good job with her son. And I know she's someone who does not believe in flogging because her son, the son is just so sweet. This closeness with mother and daughter. Mother and son is just there. The closeness, the son can easily come to her and talk to her. Mama, I don't like this. And she listens. But I know in our time, you don't, you must like it. Okay, let's move over to the next question. Now, let's move on to the next question, okay? We've talked about how it shaped us. Does cultural upbringing influence how we view discipline? Does it influence? Cultural upbringing. Does it influence? Let me go with process promise because she's giving me hints. She's just banging me back to back. She said flogging. So does it influence discipline, cultural upbringing? For example, the way we dialogue.
cultural
I'm going to target
upbringing.
Miss Process, I'm going to target it because this you are opposite of me. Me, I don't like flogging. You say flogging is good. Oh yeah. Does it influence discipline?
Yeah, I feel like it does. It does. I feel like for the era that we are coming from, generation we are coming, I feel like it
Mm-hmm.
does. Okay, but era has its own specifications, things that will have to change and all of that. So for me, where I'm coming from the generation I'm coming from, I feel like it worked for us, right? And this new era, this Gen Zs and Gen Alpha, you don't use that kind of that method for them, okay? Because like they will say, what is good for the no, not what is good for that another man's food, right? Is another man's meat
Mm,
is another man's poison. So for
poison.
us, it's worked for us. It shaped how we are disciplined, right? Like I remember this Yoruba culture that if you want to greet somebody, you have to prostrate, and when an elder is talking to you, you don't have to look directly to their eyes, like eyeball to eyeball. Do you get? Growing up, it made us know that, oh, okay, like we had that respect. But in this generation, you dare not, like they're talking to you, your elder is, so you're looking at the person, like when you like eyeball to eyeball. Do you get? And I feel like for us, it helps shape our discipline. But it, although it has its positive and its negative, I feel like for us, it made us not to be confident of ourselves. It's kind of reduced our self-esteem because most times, because we are taught that when an elder is talking to you, you just have to just bend your head, even when you're not okay with what the person is telling you. But because it's an elder, you probably will not have to like air your view or what or how you're feeling then and there. They will tell you that, oh, it's okay to like do that much later, and that what you have to do is like you have to just go and meet them much later and lobby them and tell them, oh, I felt bad the way you did this and all of that. Do you get? So it helps shape our discipline, but I would say it worked for then our era, but not this new era. So things are changing, and like they will say, change is constant. So we have to just keep adapting. So it actually shaped our discipline, but you can't use that method in this present era. Yeah.
We cannot use that method in this present era. Ejiro, do you agree with that?
Okay, so well, I think yes, I agree with that partially. Reason is because I know things have changed, things have evolved, but then again, children are still children, right? And what parents should strive to attain is that balance. Because now we've seen situations where parents are now using children
Like our
they didn't
network
care
is
how
bad.
it was supposed
Okay.
oh okay, can anyone hear me now?
Okay, your
Yeah, we
network
can
was
hear you now.
disturbed. I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. So I don't know if you heard what I said initially, but this is me just saying
Yeah.
parents, our parents used to be at the extreme, right? So it was always I beat you, I have to punish you, I have to deal with you, you know, there was little or no room. Sorry, ma'am, there was little or no room for dialogue. And
Hmm.
because our parents trained us that way, right? We now have the perception that I beg, beating is too much. So we now have a generation of parents that do not even want their kids to be touched at all. They don't want their kids to be beaten. They don't want any form of corporal punishment. So they've gone to the other extreme, which says, "Don't touch my child." So yes, it's not very good to apply all of the force our parents do when we're much younger, because that will not work in this day and generation, like Promise has said. But then again, I think the parents of this generation need to find a balance and say, okay, even though my parents beat me too much, I would still beat, but not as much as my parents. I'm going to have a dialogue, but if I need to use that rod, I will use it. Because let's be very sincere, kids of these days, not just even as kids, like generally, children can just be very funny if you were to be sincere. They can test your limits. They can just want to annoy you for all the wrong reasons, So you can talk all you want sometimes, but especially the boy child sometimes, right? That tend to be stubborn. They will still do what they want to do. Do you understand? So sometimes that rod has to come into place. So if you beat me, and somehow you will listen when you see that rod. Do you understand? So I saw a video some days ago of a child that refused to eat. And the father was telling him to eat. He didn't want to. So they got a teddy bear. I don't know if anyone saw that video. And when the father brought the food, He fed it to the teddy refused to eat, and he whipped the teddy. And the child saw that and he was shocked. Then he fed the baby ate it too. He fed the teddy again, the teddy refused to eat. He whipped the teddy. The child saw that when he fed him, he ate. That was how the baby finished that food. So please tell me, which dialogue would you have had with that kind of baby? They will not eat that food. So you see, kids, they will misbehave, they will waste the food, they will throw up and throw tantrums. But sometimes you don't need to talk too much, especially when you've had that dialogue. So my emphasis is balance. Like parents need to create that balance now. So that's my own stance, anyways. Thank you.
Balance. Beautiful. Thank you very much, project manager. Beautiful. I saw our guest. Our guy was just laughing when they were saying beat, beat, beat. I know she doesn't like to hear beat. But she ended up saying balance. Let's create a balance. But me, I will still go back to the beat though. Our guest, please, what do you have to say when she was saying beat? Because I need to hear. Why you were laughing? Are you ready? Okay.
Okay, so
Please can unmute yourself.
can you see me and hear me now?
Yes, you can. Yes, you
Okay.
can.
What she said is a little funny in the sense that actually you have to balance the two to get. But for me, I really don't believe in much beating. But there is no way you can't do without it. That's just the truth. You can't.
Mm.
But you don't make the beating more than dialogue.
Mm.
Let's say, for example, your kid is like, okay, he likes playing tantrums when you tell him something. Do you understand? Can you guys hear
Yes.
me? Okay. So, for
We can hear you.
example,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
okay, for example, you dialogue with your kid, you let your kid know what you're doing, you're not supposed to do it this way, and you're trying as much as possible to say that to him with love. And at the end of the day, he's doing more things with that thing. Ah, do that. If you do this, mom is going to be sad. You want mommy to be sad, and you're showing the emotions and all of that. So at the end of the day, the kid takes it like it's like this woman is acting for me. Like, oh, you want mommy to be sad? Mommy is sad. That kind of thing. At the end
Mm.
of the day, like this woman is just acting for me. But when you change your face and want to raise your hand, I'm going to beat you.
Hmm.
Point is
Oh, we are.
going to be
Mm.
what
Oh, I
mommy
don't know
calls it
what's wrong with
comfort.
that network.
But if you
Okay.
do dialogue all the
Mm.
time, it might not work 100%.
Yeah.
So you trust supposed to balance dialogue and beating, but the beating should not be much, such that the child will now be scared of you up until the
Mm.
child want to run away. So immediately you stand up to maybe you're talking to the child while you're on the chair, and immediately you stand up to go the chair the child is running away from you, and you shouldn't go to that extent. You shouldn't get
You shouldn't
to
go
that
to that
extent, rather
extreme.
go as much as possible to dialogue more, because it's going to help the child's self-esteem and it's going to build the child's trust. But when you beat,
Mm.
of course, beating will give the temporary obedience, right? But
Mm.
but at the long run, it's going to give the child some psychological effect to the
Mm.
extent that it might even affect the child in school. Maybe, for example, they are doing something with his mate, and it's like, no, you're not supposed to do this. At the end of the day, the child is beating his mate in school because that's what the mom is doing when she speaks to when the mother speaks to him and she's not coming first. So at the end of the day, he goes to school and do that. Like he's talking to his mate, it's like, mommy says you should not do this. This is not the right thing, and the mate could not even respond or answer to him. At the end of the day, they start to beat the child, thinking that's the right thing to do. Do you get? So you should try as
Mm.
much as possible to balance it.
Mm.
So beating should
Yes.
be, let's say, like a 20%. Then dialogue should be like at 80. But you can't take beating now. That's just the truth. Especially when you have an overactive kid. At some point, you will want to go ment.
Mm.
It's not easy, especially with a boy child. Hey, you are crying. The child is crying. You are both
Wow.
crying. To get to a point, you both to be crying.
Wow.
Is that
Honestly.
crazy? And in schools here, for example, you don't beat their kids. No way. Even if you're dialoguing with them, you must not even increase your voice to start with.
At all.
No, try don't try to increase your voice. Just bring them together. Just bring them to you. Caress them. Talk to them. But the truth is, I don't know. Maybe because of the way we are brought up or raised in or something. When you bring them, when you show them emotion, you talk to them, they tend to hear you. But you see, African kids, if you bring them, talk to them, they'll be seeing you like you're acting mumu for them. Oh, it's not easy. I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. But taming these kids, they are so nice. Just the emotion is the first thing for them. Bring them closer, play with them, talk to them. They're gonna listen to you. But an African kid is gonna listen to you, but when you're doing it often and often, you feel like you're acting for him. Like, okay, let's just
Mm,
act along. You're not gonna take it serious. But when you change your face, like, I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna do this, the child is gonna come forth. You get, but for
mm,
African sex, it's just try as much as possible to balance and dialogue more because it's going to help them in future, even if it's not
mm.
present. Because the beating will only give them temporary obedience, and at the long run, the child will be scared of you. So I think we should do more of
Okay.
dialogue
Thank
because
you.
the beating, we can't take it out 100%.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I was going to pass on what you said to Joseph, but Joseph, unfortunately, he has disappeared. So I'm still waiting for him. You see, this goes back to where we say that that culture has, if Abby, culture upbringing has influence on the way the kids behave. What she just said is now like emphasizing more on what I was saying earlier. She mentioned African children and then she mentioned where she stays, the children over there. You can see that the culture now, African kids talking to them, telling them, talking to them emotionally does not do anything for them because of the culture we are brought in with, the culture of fear, the culture of we don't do this, daddy will kill you, mommy will do this. That fear that was being instilled in us has really damaged our discipline, our disciplinarian style. It has, seriously. That's for me. That's what I think. Because for these children, she's talking about the white children. They you can when you're disciplining them, even talking, dialoguing with them, you don't raise your voice. If you raise your voice, you can be arrested for that. The kids will cry for raising your voice at them, but talk to them slowly. I mean, that's how normal human beings should talk. Or Joe, that's how normal human beings. Are human beings
They're not
cows?
normal here. They're not normal here.
I mean, I think it's a cultural upbringing, that the cultural
Yeah.
discipline. Because you see, there are kids. Kids are kids. Now let's talk about kids that are born in there, that are born there, and they are born there. Let's say the father is a foreigner. He's not an African. You're going to see the difference because this man's culture, the man culture and the woman culture will be merged together, and I'm sure the man culture will influence how the child will be brought up. It will be soft, rooted in love and soft spoken words. Not the one we say, are you mad? You're an idiot, you are this. No, we don't use such words on kids. Okay, now it's not about me. I don't know if Josu is ready for us. Josu, are you there? Josu, are you there? Because I was going to ask Josu. When she was mentioning about fear, she talked about fear. Fear. If Josu is not there, let's.
Yeah,
Are you there, Josu? Eh, Are you there?
yeah, I'm here. I'm so sorry. I've been having issues with the network on my end. Can you hear me?
We can hear you clearly, clear, clear,
Yeah,
clear.
we can
And
hear
Hello.
you.
we can hear you,
We can hear
Josu.
you.
All right. All right. I've been
Okay,
having
so
network issues from my end. So
we can see that. We can
apparently,
see.
the little conversation I've had so far, I feel it's
Mm-hmm.
important for us to understand that communicate dialogue is important in raising children because it helps boost their self-esteem.
Mm,
Because most time when a children do something and the next thing you do is you went ahead and beat them, it's lower their self-esteem and it makes them feel like I can't even communicate with my parents if I'm having issue. I
mm,
am not saying this from the perspective of a parent, but I'm saying it from the perspective of a child as well. We've been there before, and whenever we're having issues, just because the way we were brought up, we find it very difficult to relate with our parents. My dad is this man that is always he's always harsh on us, and he just wants us to do what he wants, and he wants us to stick to his doctrine and his principle. But I realized while growing up, I end up realizing that's not the best way to, bring your kids up. So
Mm,
at some point, when I reached some certain age, I was able to have some conversation with him. But there are still restrictions. Like, he's still my dad, and I know how my dad can be. So at some point, I
mm,
had to have this conversation with him that, it takes me a whole lot of courage before I could start having conversation with you, just because of the way you're always being harsh on us, and you're not giving us that friendly atmosphere to have a communication with you when it comes to we having issue outside, or we doing something that we didn't even do. Maybe someone accused us of doing something. On the long run, my dad will be like, okay, don't worry, I will discipline him. The next thing, my dad will not hear on my whole end. Next thing he will do is that, okay, so pardon me to use you, but nǹkan tí mo wẹ́ lọ ṣe nìyẹn. Àwọn so ó lọ bẹ̀yẹn, ó lọ ṣe nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀, no problem, go inside, go inside, go inside. The next thing is cane. But I feel the best thing was he should have done then
mm. Okay. I think we lost him. His network has taken him away from us. All right, Joshua, I think your network is really bad now, and we can barely hear you.
How did this thing
Okay, Joshua, we can barely hear you again. Okay, I think he has said so much. He has said so much. He has said so much. And I want to say thank you to our viewers, that are viewing. Thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying this conversation. And you are the reason why we are here, so we can have this dialogue. Don't forget to comment, share, and also send in what you think about this. Okay, let's talk about it. So my question now is good. The next question is going to go to Ejiro. I don't know if our guest is still here, so we can talk more. Now, is there any difference between discipline at home and at school? Is there any difference, Ejiro? What do you think? Then before we have the same question to our guests.
Okay, should I proceed? Sorry.
Still, do proceed.
Okay, so is there any difference between discipline at home and discipline in
Yeah.
school? So
Yes,
for
and
me, I
who
don't
should
think
set
that.
the standard? Who should set the standard? Is it the school or home? Yeah.
Okay. All right. So first off, the parents should set the standard, because now the
Mm,
truth is, how a parent nurtures a child from the very beginning will determine to a very large extent the kind of attitude, the kind of character they put up in school, right?
mm,
So if you already groomed your child the way they should be, you already
mm,
brought up your child to be responsible enough to respect adults,
mm,
to know how to talk to people rightly, good manners, good upbringing, essentially. Whenever they find
mm,
themselves in a different environment beyond school, whether in church,
mm,
whether in the mosque, even in the marketplaces, there is a way they're
mm,
definitely going to behave, because the values have been instilled in them from home,
mm.
right? So the parents
Yeah.
essentially sets the standard. When they say charity begins at home, it's not a cliche, it's the truth. Because nobody grooms a child the way they should be. So it is only because many times we find out that parents do not do what they're supposed to do. They already have brought up their children to be badly behaved, that the school is forced to sort of, implement correctional measures. I don't know if you get me, which is
Yes.
which is simple work. Because groom your child the way they should be, and when they get to school and they behave well, no one is going to punish a child for doing nothing wrong. Many times
Right.
when we are punished in school, it's because we either made a mistake, we erred, we flouted a rule or something. right? Which is, of course, sometimes unavoidable because we're kids, But then the foundation has been laid. We cannot deny the fact that there were some kids that were just exceptional. They always looked neat. They come to school early. They do their assignments. They were just almost perfect. And you'll be wondering, I don't understand. Why is this child like this? They don't fight. They're never in the bad books. So it gives the school less work to do, right? Those are the kind of kids
Yeah.
the school praise, and they're like, oh, these are our best students, the most intelligent, the most quiet. But when you don't groom your children the way they should be, and you bring them to school, like, I don't know, let me know is the negative word, but you're just dumping baggage on the teachers. That's when the principal has to be flogging, they have to be, because I remember then in my secondary school, I cannot count how many times, like, in fact, if I call their names and they watch this video, they'll be laughing. They were always in the bad books, always. And sometimes it became fun for them because they enjoyed being flogged, and they would do that odechi kind of thing. They end up disturbing
I
the whole class. They were the noisemakers, they were the latecomers. Name it. So you see, in that case, the school cannot help but, they now have to try and mend the child because it was broken from home, right? So there's a difference between the parents can do their part, right? So when the parents play their part, the kids behave well in school. And for every part that the parents, of course, may not be able to work on like they should, that's where the school comes in, right? So as they teach them moral values and the likes, and the work gets easier because, of course, they might punish when they need a right, but it won't be so much, right? So I think that's the perspective.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. So she said parents should set the standard. Promise you agree to that. Should parents set the standard of discipline that's at home, or school should set the standard?
I would say it's obvious that it's the parents because they would say charity begins at home, and the family is the child's first agent of socialization, right? So it's the parents' duty to set the standard of discipline for their children. Okay, so that's just it. And I know that I have something to say about it, but let me know, guys. Let me know, guys. Say it,
Please say
okay?
so.
Uh, no,
Say it, bro.
because I'm currently experiencing this, right? Okay, so there's a set of children, right? This set of kids.
Mm.
Like I know them home, right? So the God, okay.
Yo.
So I'm
Okay,
trying
don't get yourself into
to
trouble. Don't mention names. Just say a story.
yes,
It's a story you're
I'm
telling.
trying to not mention name. Okay, so you have this child that is almost a teenager and she doesn't do any chores at home, right?
Hmm.
So it's just the nanny that does everything at home.
Hmm.
So, and even when the nanny tries to engage her to do something, the dad to be like, "Why are you doing that? I'm paying
Hmm.
someone to do that for you." So
Hmm.
imagine that kind of child coming out in the society, and maybe he or she doesn't get all the good things that probably life doesn't go well as the parents had planned, because most parents do train their children forgetting that this child is not going to be with you for life, right? They're
Yeah.
actually going to go outside there to meet other people, and when you don't train them well, it will always tell, it will always show outside, right? Like Adriel was saying that those students that are always in the bad book in school, right? It's so obvious how they have been trained at home, right? So from how a child behaves, you can actually say, oh, this is how the parents train the child at home. So the child doesn't cook, she doesn't do anything. And I don't really blame the child, because even the mom does not do anything. She comes back from work and just leave and just start pressing her phone to when she's ready and she's set to go to work the next day. She does not her children have never seen her in the kitchen doing something. So imagine this kind of child comes out tomorrow, intends to get married, and in her mindset, all she already knows is that, oh, if I'm going to get married, we're going to have nanny that will cook, that will do everything and everything. Forgetting that there are times you're definitely going to be living alone. So let's assume the child happens to now go outside the country, that even to get people to do cook or do all those menial jobs for you, it's very expensive out there. How do you expect that child to cope? The child will have to spend money to pay those people. The child will not have to save that money, be like, but I never did all of this growing up, right? So I just feel like it's the parents that just have
Hmm.
the major work to do. So it's just the parents. Then when they have done the primary thing, then the school can now be able to shape the child. It will be very easy for the school to shape the child.
Mm, beautiful. To be easy for the school to shape the child. Beautiful. Our guest, Patricia, are you there? Patricia? Are you there? Okay. Are you there? Okay, so David is there. Okay. Okay. So Josu, are you there? Josu. Josu? All right, Josu is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
there.
yeah. I'm
Okay,
here.
beautiful.
I'm here. I can
Beautiful.
hear you.
So Ejiro and Process Promise has said that the school should set the standard. No, sorry, the parents should set the
The
standard
parents,
for discipline, and not the school. Do you also agree with that?
Yeah, I feel that's the right way to do it, because the home is the first contact of the child.
Hmm.
So the standard should be set by the parent. So the teacher will now have little impact to ensure that standard set, the students abide by the rules and regulation. So I feel that's right from my end too.
No, okay. That's beautiful. So for me, I also agree. I also agree with that. And currently, I am in a school right now, and there's something happening in that school. I have two boys. They're twin brothers, and guess what? They're like cat and dog. And it's more like an they hate themselves because they told me, because I always do dialogue a lot with my kids at school. They told me I hate my brother. And we were probing further, and we found out that both of them are very smart. They compete with themselves in class. Like this one will have 98 over 100, this one will have 99, this one will have they compete with themselves in class. And one of them is very, very outspoken and a little bit let's say very outspoken. He doesn't accept, like if they say something to him, he must make sure he explain himself. He very outspoken, while the other one is very calm. So anything they ask him to do, he does that. Why the other one would question, why do you want me to do this? So the parents now love the quiet one more than the outspoken one, and this has created. The parents are so ignorant about this. They don't know that they are. Is it what is it called? Preference within the child, preferring this child over this one has created enmity between the two children. They hate themselves. So the parents
yeah.
tend to punish the other one more. Even when he is not at fault, they already blame him. They say you're the one that is rough. So the boy now is what? Is alone at home. And that has affected his self-esteem. So it has affected the way he behaves in class. So me being someone that understands emotion, naturally, I understand that I brought him closer to myself. I disciplined him when it was necessary. And I make sure that nobody, other children, when they pick on him, I make sure they apologize. And I made them to, I don't know how, but he's now opening up to me. And I'm also drawing the attention of the school so they will tell their parents at home. So we saw that what the parents are doing a bad job at home. Preferential treatment amongst children.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that preferential treatment. How has this affected us?
It
How has it
has,
like
oh,
traumatized
it
us?
has, like it has, honestly, it has. I think that
Hmm.
even should actually be a different topic on its own. You see that favoritism and
Mm,
I think it should actually be a topic on its own
really?
because at the long run it affects the children because by the time they are all grown, so this one already have the mindset that, oh, my mom likes this particular person, so and
Hmm.
two of you didn't get along during those childhood period, and now you guys are adults,
Yeah.
so she feels like, oh, my mom will sort out and all of that. There's no bond between
Yes.
those siblings, and this will lead to siblings rivalry, and which is very, very bad because when the parents are gone, just me, that one that was actually not favored will not even care for the one that the mom or the dad loved so much, and it was so obvious that, oh, the mom loves this one so much. Do you get?
Very
So when the parents are no more,
Hmm.
it actually has a ripple effect on the children, and which is very bad.
mm.
Very, very bad. Hey, Jiro, what do you have to say on this too?
Yeah, so I was very happy when she used that word siblings rivalry because I've seen it play out over and over and over again. And the sad part is parents do not even realize this, like you also said, because it's not like it's deliberate. Sometimes they just feel because we are humans, we tend to want to relate more with people that agree with us, that make us
Mm,
feel good. It's just a human thing. So imagine a parent having a child that is always contesting their opinions in quotes, or is always
mm,
proving stubborn, right? They naturally would want to feel like this one is a beg, just go to one corner. Then the one who acts more, loyal, and I'm going to use the words because I mean they are children. A child doesn't necessarily know what it means to be loyal. A child doesn't necessarily know what it means to be stubborn. They are just children, right? So different behaviors,
yeah.
different characteristics. So the child is not trying to be rebellious. He's not trying to be rude or to just prove stubborn to you. Those are for adults that maybe when you offend them, but the child is just being a child. So if parents understand that, then it becomes easy for them to know that, okay, even when my child is acting this certain way, of course, not all kids can be the same. Then you tend to relate with that child in that light, make them understand why you do some of the things you do. So, like you mentioned for the two kids, the twin, one tends to be more, responsive, more obedient to the parents, right? And then the other one questions, Mommy, why are you telling me to do this? That
Mm,
kind of a thing. So the parents might interpret it from the lens of this child is too rebellious, it's too stubborn. But not necessarily so. It could just be a child that is very outspoken, like you said, right? It could just be a child that likes to question things, and that should make the parent know that okay, this child has the ability to even be maybe a public speaker, maybe an analyst. Why not look at it from that perspective than seeing the child as being rebellious to you or whatnot? So I'm thinking that this siblings rivalry really is a very, very deep issue that we need to look into, like have conversations about. So our parents would know, because when you look at adults, when they grow older and you see that gap in their relationship with each other, it didn't start from that day. It didn't start from that time.
yeah.
It started from when they were very much younger. When you dig deep, you find out again, like Promi said, how were these kids treated by their parents? Did the parents have favorites among them? Sometimes the parents can love two kids. Those ones will now form a clique against the one that the parent does not
Mm,
love so much. And then at home there's division. And the parents think it's okay because it doesn't matter. But it does matter. And the parent might not be there to witness the effect or the consequences of those seeds they've sown because they are passed on. But then the kids can no longer have the relationship like they should have because the parents sowed the wrong seeds. So I think every parent should become more aware. Yeah.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. I do like that. As like you said, that the child could be a public speaker. Yes, he's a very good public speaker. He's just 9 years old. I've got to find out. He loves quotes. He has written just in 2 weeks. I've met them in class. He has written over 3 quotes for me, and he loves to write. He loves anything that has to do with English and public and writing. He is a public speaker. He questions things. He doesn't just accept information. He questions them, and I like that about him. These are things that our parents do not get to do. Our African parents do not. They don't get to see beyond what they call stubbornness. They just see once a child is not adhering to your rules. There are no African parents. We all feel that we are always right. Once they're not adhering, this one is stubborn. No, children are built differently, just like you're an adult. You are built differently. You will see things differently. We cannot be the same. So I think our African parents should do better in not just calling our child stubborn. We should understand them beyond what you see as stubbornness. Thank you very much. Okay, Jesu. Okay, Jesu is not here. I don't know if he's here. Is he here with us? Oh, he's not here. Our guest, Patricia, are you there? Are you there? Oh, she's not there. So let's move on to the next question. I know, viewers, thank you very much for watching and for commenting and for sharing. We love you, and I hope you're getting value, because I am getting value from these amazing um, guests and volunteers. Oh, the next question is what happens when discipline crosses over into abuse, and how do we recognize this line? When they have discipline you, and it's not looking like abuse. So I guess this question is for you. I guess this question is for you. Please unmute and answer. What happens when discipline has crossed over to abuse? And how do we recognize that it's no more discipline, it has turned to abuse? How do we recognize this? Yeah, you are muted. Please unmute. Yes, you are
Okay.
muted.
Is it better now? Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, Patricia. Did you get my question?
Yeah. So what's the question again? Sorry.
Okay, what happens when discipline has crossed over to abuse? Like they have disciplined you and it's looking like abuse. It's no longer discipline. And how do we recognize this line?
Hello.
Patricia, we can hear you. We can hear you. Okay, if your network is working, we can move over. Then you can answer later, if that's okay.
Mommy.
Oh my Lord.
Hello.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
we
can't
have
hear
to
you
move over
speak at all. I
to the
can't hear
next
your
2
voice.
minutes here. Can every other person
The
hear me?
network is so bad.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Promise, can you hear me? Jerry, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
I think it's your
She tried
network.
moving to a different location. Yeah. She tried moving to a
Yes,
different location.
try a different location to see where it works better for you. So we have to move on to the next to the next person. Okay, just try a different location. We'll get back to you. Thank you. So Ejiro, start with you, our project manager. What happens when we have now finally know this discipline is that it is looking like abuse, or when a child now has marks all over our body? Wait, before I
Yeah.
even talk, let me tell you a simple story. My sister, she came back home. We saw beatings, marks with blood on her tummy. Blood, and guess what? This child was just 7 years old. She
Mm.
was 7 years old, and our teacher gave her a 3 pages note to copy in class. 3 pages. 7-year-old child copying 3 pages notes for what now? So there were marks on her tummy. When we saw it, I and my dad, I was mad. I think how old I was, I think around I was just done with my secondary school. I think I was 17 years old. I was mad. So I and my dad went to the school and asked her what happened. Why did you give her mark? She said she's too slow. She didn't copy her notes. My dad picked the cane. Auntie, I am going to give you the same mark on your, but he said, no, daddy, wait, you're a man. If you do it, you're going to say you abuse a woman. My other sister that is very more crazy than me. That one was even in SS3. She came. This girl whipped the teacher. It is not funny that a child should be whipping an adult, but we have no choice. Let you feel the pain that the child felt. So how do we
Yeah.
recognize that it is an abuse? And how do we what happens? And how do we also recognize this line? Please, let's hear
Mommy.
from
Thank you.
you.
Okay. So I think the first thing I would say is dialogue is supposed to be a last resort, right? Sorry, discipline is supposed to be a last resort when dialogue has
Okay.
failed. That's how
Mm.
it's supposed to. So only until you've spoken to a child, until you've had a conversation with a child, should you have enough reason to punish them for not doing what you ask them to do. Because
Mm.
sometimes parents assume, like you said, children should just know what to do, which is not even realistic,
Exactly.
right? Until you teach a child, you don't punish them for what you've not taught them. So
Exactly.
that being said, now when you want to discipline a child, eventually, if you have to, is to enforce compliance, maybe for them to begin to do something that is in their own best interest. So maybe a child refuses to do the assignment deliberately, and you know that children should do their homework. It's very
Mm,
important. Or a child just chooses to put up bad habits, like staying up late, coming back at night, just things would affect this child when they grow up. So yes, you can enforce discipline in that regard. And you've spoken to them over and over and it's not working. But abuse sets in when, for no reason, you, like I mentioned earlier, you don't have dialogue in the first place. Like you assume the child should know what to do and then you punish them. What's the basis for that punishment? If I were to ask that parent, there's none, because you're just beating the child. They don't even know why you're beating them. Sometimes, you just come into the house, and some, maybe because they offended the father at work or something, they just come to do transfer of aggression. Just a little thing. Why did you put this cup here? And they're beating you. The child is wondering, is it because I kept the cup here that is beating me?
mm,
That kind of a thing. So that's already abuse, right? And then again, when you hit the child to the point that rather than getting the results you desire as a parent, which is to enforce compliance, they become
mm.
rebellious because you've beaten them so much. They are now so used to your beating. You can hear some children say, hey, what would I do? After you will just beat me now. What there? You know?
Just be
So just let him just beat me now. He's only beat, he will beat me. In fact, the funny thing is, I know I used to say that thing before. The only thing we shout now. After he showers, what next? That that discipline is no longer effective. So you can beat all you
mm,
want, hold all you want, you're not getting the desired results because that child has become so used to what you're doing, is not becoming rebellious. And that happens many times when parents refuse to know the limits. So even when you beat a child, honestly, Sha, there should be a limit. You don't hit a child to the point they have scars all over their body, they're bleeding, you're literally tampering with their health. Like, I don't know if you see some adults till today, if you check their body, cane they whipped them when they were younger, the scars are still there. So that's going beyond the limit. So I think abuse for me is when a parent goes beyond the limit, such that you punish a child and it begins to affect them, their health. And I mean their health, I mean physically. You beat a child, they become sick. It affects them emotionally, they become withdrawn. Rather than drawing close to you, like learning the corrections, they begin to go far away from you. So all the adverse effects, everything you never wanted that child to be, they now become, because you went beyond the limit. So I think that's it for me. So parents should know the limit essentially. Thank you.
beautiful. Beautiful. So I guess, are you ready to answer? I think we should go over to another question because we do not have enough time. We're going to be leaving soon. And thank you, viewers. It is you, and we are happy to share this with you. Okay, now, if not the cane, then what? If not the cane, then what? Now, we are going to be talking to our African parents because we have to tell them use something else and not the cane. Okay? So our guest, Patricia, this is for you. If not the cane, then what?
Thank you for the question. Right. In my opinion, I would say dialogue. In the sense that you have to, it might be so difficult at first to have to tell them this all the time, all the time, all the time. So it sticks to their mind, it sticks to their brain rather than using cane, because you can't tend to use cane at all times. It's going to affect the child in the future. At the end of the day, you start to blame yourself like a failed mother or something. So it should be more of dialogue.
Beautiful. She said dialogue. Very simple, straight to the point. Dialogue. Beautiful. Thank you, our guest. Dialogue. Let me add something there. And we flog people, what do we really think to gain? Yeah, I think why I wanted to say that we we shouldn't resolve to flogging at first as African parents. Let's dialogue, right? I wanted to say something that's keep my mind. I'll come back to that when I remember what I want to say. But let's go back to the next question. Or you are okay? She's still saying something. Okay, okay.
Just hold on. For example, over here, they believe that, well, honestly, they don't use cane here, right? They believe when
Mm.
you start behaving like that, when we dialogue with you and you're, go and sit down, please, this move. When they start, sorry, don't mind, it's my kids. I'm so
It's
sorry.
okay. We are here for them.
That's okay. When you start dialogue with them and they don't tend to listen to you. At the end of the day, they will call on to the parent that okay, we have tried all we could, nothing is working. They will have to tell you need to take your kid to a physiotherapy, psychotherapist rather. They believe at that time, well, my dialogue is not working. You should have to go to the next level, but they will never be to that one thing I've learned. Because for me, I'm like, even before now, I'm like, okay, since my dialogue is not working because my kid is such an active kid and it's just 3 years old. So I do more of dialogue now. I've been learning that over time and I think it's working. But at some point you feel like the kid will feel like you're playing with him. Like what he's doing is actually right. But I will still say you should do more of dialogue than beating. And at the point you feel it's too much for you, there are correctional centers you can take the kid to, that can help you further more. But beating all the time, it's a no, no. Just up. Not even the person.
Okay. Thank you very much. She said therapy. Therapy. In Africa, yeah, we do therapy. I don't I don't know how possible is that. When it is not in their culture to do therapy, why would they be you are stubborn, you need prayer. Okay. Andrew, do you agree that we need therapy in this that our parents can actually take us for therapy? Do you believe that? Even if they told you wake in your dream and say therapy, will you believe?
Mm.
Hey.
I don't mean to be rude, but in the average Nigerian family right now, they're trying to feed, they're trying to take care of the family, like let food be on the table. So
Mm,
is it where is the money going to come from for the family to go and pay for therapy session for the child?
You go for
right.
deliverance instead of
You go for
Abi,
therapy.
or
they'll
the
they'll
care
take
before
like,
your therapy. The care
but
will drive out the
actually,
difference from you.
but it can be cheap. Therapy can be cheap. Seriously, if it can be cheap, let me explain why I say that. It can be cheap because we
Okay.
have churches. It can be cheap because we have churches, and there are Sunday school teachers. So if they train our teachers to believe that way, now this takes me to the next question. I want to let me just ask the question so we can talk about it before we can leave here. How do we train teachers and parents to embrace gentler but yet gentler parenting and teaching, yet from form of approaches? Now that's the question I want to ask next. So I'm going to say it. It can be because we have Sunday school teachers. I mean, Sunday school is free at church. Church is almost free for everybody to go to. And they are teaching us about Bible characters and everything, how to respect our parents, how to do this. It can be from the church. When a child is stubborn beyond a parent's handling, and maybe you don't want to use, we shouldn't even use cane. They're not cows. Cows, when we use cane, are people that are cows who do not even have brain. Children have brain. When they throw tantrum, they're only doing that because they want to. They're learning to evolve in the world. So when it gets to that point, we should take them to church where there's a Sunday school teacher who will sit down with them, bring out the Bible. You see, if you behave this way, this is what is going to happen to you. That is therapy, and it's very cheap. But no, we would never resort to that. We always think that flogging is the last resort. No. So when we say that therapy is cheap, it's there in the church, it's there in the Bible. Okay, it's there in the Bible. They can teach about characters. The same way we teach them about how to respect parents. Ephesians 6, respect, if you don't respect your parents, this is what will happen to you. You should teach them about obedience as well, listening as well, and them also being outspoken as well. It's there in the Bible. That's therapy. So it's not expensive. So what do you think about the last question? How do we train teachers now and parents? Eh? So I think how do we train them? Please let's talk to embrace gentler form of approaches and not resorting to cane. The dialogue we just accepted that should be what we should accept and not using cane every time. So process promise. I know you have a lot to say.
Okay. Okay, I will start with enlightening the parents and the teachers, because the truth of the matter is that every day new things are coming up. So we have to train them to stay abreast of whatever method or techniques that have not been used that should be used. Like we have the technique of having to positive reinforcement, right? When a child does something good, you can decide to give the child a gift or praise the child for doing something good, because if you notice most of the time we are always being scolded where we do something wrong. You get, that's African parents for you. When you do something wrong, you see the way they will shout at you. But when you do something good, they'll not even praise you, you get. So if they can put that same energy they are using to scold when we do something bad, if they can put that same energy in praising us, it will kind of reinforce that good behavior. Okay, because we want to like do that more. Oh, I want my dad to buy me this gift or to praise me and all of that. Then the next one is having to model the behavior. Okay, I was listening to Pastor Mildred. She said something about the scripture that what you would like others to do to you, right? Do it unto them. Then there was a version of the scripture. She said, what you want somebody to do unto you, initiate that, right? So that's kind of like modeling that behavior. So if you want somebody to do something to you or something good, you have to model it or you have to initiate it. Like if you listen to her when she talks about her husband's spending habits, do you get, she didn't kind of like told her husband, compare her husband with somebody else. Oh, because parents does that a lot. They will be like, didn't you see your mate, she's behaving well, she's doing this.
Mm,
Yeah. But if we can
mm,
initiate that behavior we want to see in our child, okay, to help them be like, okay, this is what my mom wants and this is the kind of behavior she has been modeling for me to follow, the child will definitely do that. Okay. Okay, let me say what happened to me. Like growing up, at a point in my senior secondary school, I had to stay with my auntie. So because of my auntie, kind of thing she would tell me that, okay, most times when I'm with people and if it's a guy, if she catches me I'm in hot soup, the words she would say to me, hey God, she'll be like, you are following men and they stay there till when they get you pregnant. Do you think, no, that thing kind of made me withdraw from guys. Whenever we get and I see my auntie, I'll be like, I'll start I have to start working fast because she has been modeling that, oh, that when you're with guys you get pregnant, you do this one. So I'm always so conscious of that pregnant. That, can you imagine the kind of stuff she was trying to model to me? So if she had modeled something, being confident and being new, do you get, and know how to rapport with other genders,
mm,
it would have helped. Okay, then when she talked about dialogue, I feel like dialogue should also be constructive, not just dialogue, because there's some dialogue that you have with somebody to even worsen the situation. So I think we should also have constructive dialogue, right? So I think updating the
mm.
parents and the teachers on the new techniques and the new methods to use, it should be very, like, even as we are talking about that therapy, that is very, very important. But in this part of the world, this Africa, we don't accept therapy, but we go for deliverance. They'll tell you need deliverance. That is an evil spirit that is, that is disturbing that is disturbing you. So so if we can actually embrace that therapy, it's I think it's also good. It's also good. So that's just it from my angle. Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh, this is it. She's the real teacher, I'm telling you. She has talked about modeling. What else did you mention? You mentioned something as modeling and constructive dialogue, and
Positive
also you
reinforcement.
mentioned positive
Positive.
reinforcement. That very one, gang, 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 gang. I didn't get it as a childhood. So when someone is trying to show me love now, be like, what is this one? What are you trying to do? So you see, it's very, very important. It's very important. Yes. Ejiro, now what do you think about what she just said? Everything. What is your own take on this very question? How do we train teachers and parents to adopt a gentler parenting and also form of approaches?
Okay. So thank you so much, Promise, for highlighting those very important points. I completely agree with everything you have said. Like, it makes so much sense, especially because parents, teachers are the main people or the main figures that shape a child, while growing up. So just to add to what you have said, there has to be a cohesion. There has to be cooperation between parents and teachers. Like, parents need to begin to see teachers as their teammates. They need to begin to see teachers as their friends. Like someone said, um, your child's teacher is actually your child's second parent. So
Mm,
don't see that person as a competitor, because when you are not taking care of that child, that teacher is taking care of the child. So when you see that teacher as someone you should cooperate with, it eases a lot of tension, because sometimes when issues arise in school, maybe the teacher is trying to correct a child or try to do something to help a child, maybe through discipline or whatever, and the teacher is trying so hard, and then the parent comes from nowhere and makes it look like you are you are off. What you're doing is totally wrong. It affects the
Mm.
teacher, right? So there's no way that child can properly model, because at home he's being pampered, he's being carried like egg, and then you expect that child to go to school and expect the teacher to do what exactly? It's not going to work, because there's no synergy between the parents and the teachers. So even though there would be effective methods to ensure that the teachers and the parents, create systems to ensure that children are properly guided, it all boils down to the fact that there should be cohesion between these parties, right? So that even when the child knows that they will do wrong, and the teacher will punish the child, they will be afraid to act bad, because they know that when they go back home, the parents will not support their actions or their behaviors, right? Same thing as when a child, acts bad at home and goes back to school. So it's just a how do I put it now? There just has to be that synergy. And then finally, what I would say is counseling is also very key, like you have said, and it's cheap again. But I'm going to say that beyond looking at it from the spiritual aspect, schools should also incorporate this guidance and counseling centers. I know that we used to have it then, but they were not very, very effective, right? So sometimes you need mentorship, you need counseling, you need someone to go and talk to in your school. Maybe because you have questions regarding very sensitive areas like sex, as a teenager. And
Mm.
you go there, and the people they put there are all these archaic mothers. Then when you're even asking the questions, the way they'll be looking at you, you'll be wondering who sent me to come here. So I think schools should invest into having effective counseling centers, so that when a child has issues and they have no one else to talk to, there's a counselor, someone who is trained, that understands children's behavior, that can advise, that can counsel, that can render support to these kids across all sectors, whether it's academics, their bodies, every way. I think that will go a long way to helping children, realize their full potential and helping them become better. Yes, that's my point. Thank you.
Beautiful. That's a very. I'm going to inculcate that. I will tell my school about that. How having a center for word counseling. That's really beautiful. And have also teacher parents being a team. Hmm. Great point, Ejiro. Thank you. Thank you. Patricia, are you there? Patricia?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, we can hear you. The last question is how do we train parents, teachers
Yeah, I have
to.
that.
Okay. Did you answer the question?
Yes, I have that. I
Okay.
would say, firstly, we have to update the parent and the teachers. Because, for example, mostly the parents, because everything we do with the kids starts from home.
Hmm.
Do you get? In the sense that, okay, for example, while I was growing up, because I was quite active too. I'm a daddy's girl, so I'm active. Everything I do is like stubborn, stubborn, stubborn. My Sunday school teacher then was telling my mom, she give my mom some Bible verses to read inside water and give for me to drink. That I will have some drinks. So when I wake up, I'll tell my mom the drinks and all of that. They need to be updated. Everything is not spiritual. I swear to God. Mostly with these kids. This one, please don't paint on the wall. Please give them to me. Give me these pencils. Thank you. Sorry. You know,
Mommy,
they will say that okay, everything is not spiritual, right? Some kids are just like that. They are wired that way. They are just there. They want to be everywhere. They want to see something. They want to know about that thing. They want to see how it works. For example, my kid had accident sometime like 2 days ago thereabout. Someone was at the door. It wasn't from my hand, but from his school. So it was inquisitive to see how to open the door. The door opens and it was surprised. Oh, I can do this and it opens. So was trying to lock the door back and through the key and go back to his seat. At the end of the day, the door injured him. From then, he never want to go to the door anymore. I would say, that's when go and get me the key. He said, Mommy, no, I don't want to go there. Things like that, you have to first be updated. If you think the way it was in the year back, you want to continue with that in this current century, it's not going to work. We need to be updated. We need to reinforce to them, especially the aged women. They are still doing Sunday school teachers. You have to reinforce some learning, some training into them. How it is, everything is not spiritual. I think it's still more of dialogue. We need to speak to them. Of course, we have to add that with reading. Sorry, with our scripture, we have to pray for them. We can't completely remove that, but we still need more of dialogue. We have to speak to them, and then the teachers and parents, we have to, if it's possible, they have to. There are many agencies, there are many organizations you can even learn from online. Maybe, let's say, for example, maybe the financial aspect, you don't have the capacity. There are some online courses that you can just go, you can read through. There are videos on YouTube to check on. So it's just about updating ourselves, how things are being done in this age now. It's not, everything is not spiritual. Do you understand? I think that's my I think that's my opinion about this and my answer to the question.
Thank you very much. Okay, parents, what I got from all what she said, I mean, like in summary, she said parents needs to be updated. Parents need to be updated. Thank you so much, my viewers. It has been so amazing. And our volunteers and our guests has been amazing. We have gotten value from back to back from Ejiro Lucky, our project manager of UDO Foundation. And please go over to our all our platforms, UDO Foundation on YouTube. Follow, like, and share all what we do. Comment. We are doing a wonderful work. I would like. I think. Let me let our project manager talk about UDO Foundation before we go. I think she should do that herself.
Okay, thank you so much. So, hi everyone, once again. My name is Ejiro. I'm with UDO Foundation. Now, UDO Foundation is a non-profit organization that works to increase access to education for less privileged children. Now, we work across several states in Nigeria, presently 5 states, and we are looking out for the most vulnerable kids, those ones who without support may never get an education, right? And I mean, education is a bedrock of success, like they say. So what we do is we get them off the streets and into the classrooms where they belong. We cater to their educational needs, and beyond that, we also advocate for education, right, for the millions of children who are out of school in Nigeria. And beyond that, we also focus on providing mental health support to many of these kids because they've witnessed, horrible situations happen to them. And then finally, we also provide business empowerment support to less privileged children so that when these women are financially empowered, they can support their families, right? Take them out of poverty, ensure that their kids go to school, feed well, and that way the society is transformed one family at a time. So do well to visit our website, www.udofoundation.com, read more about our work, what we do, join us, partner with us, donate to support our cause so that together we can transform Nigeria by increasing access to education for every child. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, our project manager. And thank you, everyone. Please don't forget to follow all us on our media platform and check our website, www. It's there on your screen, udofoundation.com. And it's been amazing show. And we hope to see you next time and right here talking about how to take care of our kids and Parenting Unplugged. It's going to be Parenting Unplugged 3.0. And that was it. Parenting Unplugged 3.2. See you next time and bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for watching.